It's Tuesday morning now, and when you're starting to get back into shape, the one thing you need is a plan. So I have a bit of an advantage in that I understand training and I've done a lot of training in the past. And the one thing I do know is that I like to set up every week the exact same day I'm going to be doing the exact same type of exercise. So it's mentally it's pretty cool because Mondays, for example, are going to be my rest day, and Tuesday is going to be maybe a run or a bike, etc. So in order to determine how I want my schedule to look, I do a few things. I look at it and say, okay, what do I want my lifestyle, because I have other commitments. So I want to work around those. I want to know how many times a week I should be working out, how many times a week per exercise should I be working out, etc. So what I did was I put together an overview of, what the rules are. So here, for example, some of the rules are Monday, I want one rest day. So I want that rest day to be Monday. Fridays, I want it to be a run day. And the reason I want Fridays to be a run day and not a bike day is because too many people are on the road coming home from a long day at work. And I just find that I'm always a little nervous whenever I ride my bike on a Friday. The other parameters is I want to do 3 runs per week. I want to do 3 bike rides per week. I want to have 2 weight training sessions per week, one being upper body, one being lower body. I want to have 1 core session per week that also includes some stretching. And I want to have 1 swim per week. Swimming is not the funnest thing to do. And the other thing is, all the other exercises I could do out of my home, even the upper body weights I could do outside. At my home, I have the weights. But when I do lower body and swim, I really need to go to a gym to do it properly. So I want to combine on the day that I do the lower body, I also want to include the swim on that day so that it's 1 trip to LA Fitness versus 2 trips. So then what I did was I wrote that out, those rules. I put them into all of the different AI models. All of them came back initially where they either were missing a run or missing a bike, or the days were messed up. None of them were good. So I went back multiple times and just to put in perspective, there was ChatGPT, Grok, Perplexity, Claude, DeepSeek. Those were the ones that I used. And I think I now, after going back and forth for quite a bit, I think I have the schedule down. The only other thing that I told them was that I want an 8-week schedule. And the goals being that at the end of the 8 weeks, I want to be able to ride for at least 2.5, 3 hours and maintain a 27 kilometer an hour pace. I want to be able to run at least an hour and maintain a 640 per kilometer pace. Both of these being at a heart rate of 120 or less, although I did say I would creep up a little bit, but never more than 130. So those are my goals over an 8-week period. I've put it in. I now have the days, and I'm just working on, a little bit in terms of what the session lengths are going to be. So here's my final schedule. Monday is an off day. Today is going to be a bike ride, and it's going to be upper body weights. Tomorrow is going to be a run. Thursday is going to be a heavier day, which I don't mind. If you're going to have any days during the week that are heavy, Thursdays are good days to be those days. So on Thursdays, it's a bike, it's lower body weights, and it's going to be that swim. Then Friday, as I mentioned, is going to be a run. And then Saturday is your long bike day, and Sunday's your long run day. And then it repeats. So every day it has got the same exercise week in, week out The only difference is what's the duration and what's the purpose of the workout and all that sort of stuff. So as it stands right now, I'm going to go back and figure out what the session should be for the next 8 weeks. So I took all of the days that I want to work out and I went back to all of the different AIs and I asked them what they think the week should look like for the first 1 to 8 weeks. So once I did all that, I had the format I gave to the different AIs and I wanted them to put in the week, and these were bikes and how many minutes would go into each. So from DeepSeek, Perplexity, Claude, XAI, ChatGPT. And then from there, I started internalizing the times that they put because I could visualize what that would look like in the week and did it make sense. And one of the things that surprised me, because I've rarely only started using Perplexity literally a day or so ago, was looking at Perplexity and DeepSeek. They did something interesting. They built in lower mileage weeks, which tells me that they are on the ball, because when you train, you do want to have, working your way up and then have 1 week that's a little bit lighter so that your body can recover. The one that I was most disappointed in was XAI and some of the times. And when I see runs, just on a Wednesday run and they're starting to have long run times, that didn't seem to work for me. And then the same thing on a Friday run, you're starting to get into long runs. So these are basically, this would have been 3 days of long runs. And then there was ChatGPT, which it was okay. So the one I decided to go with, and I had actually blocked off some of these, I was going to mix and match them. But at the end of the day, I decided to go with the Perplexity ones. Now that I've got the schedule, and my first workout is going to be the 90 or the 60 minutes today on the bike plus upper body, I really want to stress here that I created my own schedule. I used ChatGPT and all the different AIs, and I did comparison and all that sort of thing. And that's not to say that, you need to do it on your own. I do have a bit of an advantage in that I've worked out for so many years and on a fairly elite level that a lot of those schedules that I had, and I always had a coach and the coach created the schedules, I've kind of piggybacked off of those. Now, that's not to say that I wouldn't go get a coach. I'm not trying to compete, or if I was trying to compete or had a real specific race goal, then chances are I would go find a coach or go back to some sort of, whether it was, there's all kinds of software out there that have online coaches, or if you want to coach in person, etc. So for me, it's I'm doing this without a coach just because I'm trying to get in shape, and it's not, I have the experience on how to at least put something together that I'm sure if someone is a coach that's looking in on this, they're probably, you shouldn't do this, this is too long, etc. And I'm sure that it's not perfect, but I don't think I need to be perfect at this stage just to try to get in shape and use the principles of low heart rate training and try to have, certain days that work with my lifestyle. That to me is what's most important right now. My first official day of any sort of structured training anyway. So I've got my electrolyte drink. I just had a banana. Probably should have had the banana earlier in the morning. It is vacation holidays, winter or Christmas holidays, so it's about 20 to 1. So it's actually a bit of a rigmarole to get set up for riding indoors, for me anyway. Got to put on the heart rate monitor. So important, most critical part for me is heart rate monitor. And then it's always, I've got to get the fan going. Move that out here. I'll start that in the end. I've got to get my TV. So in this particular case, I've changed from Strava onto Ruby. And then also these glasses don't work because they fall off my face once I start sweating. So I have these other glasses that are not necessarily the coolest looking glasses, but they don't fall off my face. Then the next thing I do is I need to pick my route. So Ruby, what I really like about Ruby more than Strava for me is, because I'm not racing, and I know Strava is great for people racing, is I like seeing the exact terrain that I'm ring on. I find it much more enjoyable. I don't need to ride with a group, although you could add people on the group, that sort of thing. Before I forget, the other thing I do is I have two TVs going. One has got the TV with the Ruby, and the other I put on just my regular TV for YouTube. I watch YouTube as well. So I have two TVs going. So I'll grab the remote for that TV, which I'll get fired up. I should move this stuff because I always tend to drop it. And I believe that is all I need at this point. Put on my shoes. Start the fan up. And now pick my route. So today I think I'm going to look at the Global Ironman. I want something fairly flat. So let's try Ironman 70.3, and then start ride. Get on the bike. And away we go. This is cool. I've never experienced this before. It's not only an Ironman course, but it was filmed when it was an Ironman race. And there's contestants, athletes actually there. Feels like I'm back doing an Ironman. So cool. Well, this is the second and last workout for me for the day, which is day one is now officially in the record books, and feel pretty good after that bike ride. Till tomorrow.